Good morning, everyone. For today, I will discuss about the parts and functions of a sewing machine. But before that, if you have machine available at home, so please get your machine for you to be able to locate the parts easily. But if you don't have, okay, just never mind and proceed to watching this video. Now, what is a sewing machine? So a sewing machine is a machine which is mechanically driven needle used to stitch materials together with thread. It is designed to join pieces of fabric or leather by means of either a lock stitch or a chain stitch. Okay, so based on the activity that you've done last time, which is the hand stitches, you were able to join two pieces of fabrics, right, by using a stitches. So this time you will be using a sewing machine. Okay, so why is it important to have a sewing machine? Can you imagine a world without a sewing machine? No, right? It's because uh, hand sewing, manually sewing the fabric will requires a lot of time. But using this sewing machine, it will make your work faster and neater, right? So let's proceed to the parts of the sewing machine and their functions. So there are two major parts. First is the upper and the lower parts. So let's talk about first the upper part. So everything that you've seen here is the upper part. And the next one is the parts also of a portable sewing machine. This type of machine is the one that I have at home. So first is the upper part, the head. It is the complete sewing machine without a cabinet or stand. So that is the head. So next is the arm. It is the curved part of the head containing mechanism for operating the needle. Okay, the curved one, that is the head, or I mean the arm. The next is the bed. It is the flat portion of the machine, and beneath it is pedal where it is mounted, and the shuttle and the lower thread are placed. So the flat one where you lay your fabric is the bed. Next is the part of sewing machine in the arm. First is the spool pin. The spool pin is noticeable, right? It is where you put your thread. Kanang murag ni nilahi ana tanawa. So muna siya butanganan sa imong thread. Next is thread guide. It keeps the thread in position. So muna siya. That is where you i-insert nimo ang imong thread para dili siya magkagubot while you are sewing. Okay, next is the thread take up lever. It releases the thread and interlocks with the bobbin thread. So this lever, take up lever, mo ni siya murag mobira sa imong thread from the spool pin going to the needle. Okay, next is the presser bar lifter. It moves the presser foot. So when you lift the presser bar, the foot will goes up. Kaning nasa ubos murag ihang tiil-tiil mo na siya musaka na siya kung imong isaka pod ang lifter. Okay? The next part is the tension. It controls the looseness and tightness of stitches. So when you are working with different types of fabric, so it will also require different tension. So you will adjust this. Imo na ni siyang i-rotate. Okay? Next is the needle bar. The needle bar holds the needle in place. So the needle bar is this one. I mean, yeah, not one. Kanang akong gi-arrow. That is the needle bar. Next is the presser foot. It holds the fabric in place while sewing. The one that touches the fabric, that is the presser foot. By the way, you can change the presser foot depending on kung unsa imong gusto nga function. Next is the needle. It is a slender tool attached in the needle clamp used for sewing. The needle is very familiar with you, right? So, sa'yo na siya, makita na siya dayo. Next is the bobbin winder. It controls the bobbin while winding the thread. So, di ba natay thread sa lower part? So, you will use the bobbin winder para mag-wind ka. Imong i-twist sa bobbin. This part is the bobbin winder. Isuksok nimo diha ang bobbin. Okay? Next is the stitch regulator. It checks the length of the stitches. If you want your stitch to be short, then you can adjust this, or if you want it to be long, then adjust also the stitch regulator. Next one is the balance wheel. It sets the mechanism in motion. So when you rotate the balance wheel towards you, the machine will move. Okay? The next one is the belt. It connects the balance wheel to the drive wheel. So this belt is connected to, this connects the upper and the lower wheel. The stop motion screw hinders moving when loosened and starts. So can you see the screw? So when you loosen that, the machine will not move. Okay? So now let's proceed to the parts of sewing machine under the bed. First is the fadog. It moves the fabric while sewing. So makabantay man ang murag na nipon-nipon niya. So that's its function is to move the fabric. So while sewing, you don't have to pull, dili nimo birahon na ang tela since automatic na siyang mudagan. Okay? Next is the truth plate, is the windows of the fedog, and it is where the bobbin threads come out. Okay, makita na mo siya. Next is the slide plate, is a movable plate that covers the shuttle and bobbin case. So you want to remove your bobbin from the shuttle, then you have to slide the plate. Next is the shuttle. It holds the bobbin case while sewing. Then hindi mo isud ang imong bobbin with the thread. This is the bobbin. It is a metal spool for winding thread. There are also plastic bobbin, but mostly metal na siya. And then danhan nimo i-wind ang imong thread. Next one is the bobbin case. It holds the bobbin. So katong bobbin nga na siya isud nga thread, diri nimo siya i-insert sa bobbin case. Kaning bobbin case mo na pud na siya imong i-insert sa shuttle. Kaning shuttle. Okay? So now let's proceed to the lower parts of the lock stitch sewing machine. So first is the band wheel. It leads the balance wheel through the belt connection. So mo ni siya ang imong gi-connect sa ibabaw balance wheel. Mo ni siya ang band wheel. And next is the band wheel crank. It moves the band wheel. So mo ni siya hinungdan nga mo move ang imong band wheel because of this crank. Crank. Okay. Next one is the Pitman rod. Pitman rod holds the treadle to band wheel crank. So mo ni siya ang treadle. Kani imong tumbanan. Mo ni ang treadle. The Pitman rod, mo ni siya nag-connect nila. Nag-connect sa treadle o sa band wheel is the Pitman rod. Okay? Next is the belt guide. It holds the belt to its place. So para dali matanggal ang imong belt, kani ang iyang guide kanang murag ni ilaw. Okay? Then belt shifter. It removes the belt from the wheel. If you want to remove the belt, so diri ka moagi sa shifter kanang sa ibabaw. Next is the dress guard. It protects the dress from the wheel. So para dili mo makaon ang imong sinina sa mananahi. So mas maayo kung imong machine is na siya protection or guard. Next one is the treadle. It is where feet are stationed to drive the band wheel through the pitman rod. So, mo ni siya imuhang tumbanan. Anhika musikad. Okay, that is treadle. Next is the legs. It supports the cabinet of the machine. So, mo siya ang leg. Aning part, leg. Okay. And then, the last but not the least, the cabinet. It holds the head of the machine by interlocking screw on the hinges. So this is the cabinet. So if you want, pwede nimo, sabi na ang ordinary machine, pwede nimo siya i-keep ang iyahang head. Kaning head, pwede na nimo siya itago sa ilom sa lamisa, then i-cover nimo ang kaning iyahang extension. So, I hope that you've learned something. That's all for today. And goodbye. Thank you for watching.